The cabin was quiet, just the steady hum of the engines and a few reading lights glowing over sleepy passengers. Lead flight attendant Maya walked the aisle for her final head count before descent. When she reached row 18, she stopped. A man sat in 18A by the window, calm, still alone. But something in her stomach tightened. She was almost sure that seat had been empty during boarding. Maya kept walking so she would not stare, but the unease stayed with her all the way back to the galley. She pulled out the printed manifest and ran her finger down the list of seats. Row 18. Seat a blank. No name, no special code, no assignment. According to the paper in her hand, that man did not exist on this flight at all. She told herself she must be tired. 3 legs in 1 day, delayed departure, and a short night's sleep before report time. Maybe she misread the row. Maybe he was in 17A or 19A. So she took a slow breath, straightened her uniform, and walked back down the aisle, this time counting rows carefully. 14, 15, 17, then 18. And there he was. He looked ordinary enough. Mid-40s dark jacket, short hair, small duffel bag under the seat in front of him. Hands folded loosely in his lap. His seatbelt was fastened properly, and he stared out into the darkness beyond the window as if he were deep in thought. Nothing about him screamed danger. Yet the fact that he was not on her list made Maya's pulse speed up. She stopped beside him with a polite smile. "Good evening, sir. Just checking on everyone before we land. How are you doing?" He turned his head slowly and met her eyes. His expression was calm. Tired maybe, but not distressed. "I'm okay," he said quietly, just waiting to get there. His voice was steady, normal. Still, something about him made her want to ask more questions. Back in the galley, she caught her coworker Liam pouring coffee into a crew cup. "Hey," she said, keeping her voice low. "Can you do me a favor?" He walked through. "Count row 18. Tell me how many passengers you see, just to be sure I'm not losing it." Liam raised an eyebrow, half amused, half curious, but nodded. "All right, I'll take a look." A few minutes later, Liam returned with a puzzled look. "There's one guy in 18A, he said. Window seat. Looks fine." "Why?" Maya held up the manifest. "'Cause that seat is empty on here. We never boarded anyone in 18A. Our numbers match. We're not over or under." Liam frowned now. Maybe gate agents moved him and didn't update us. Happens sometimes. But even he sounded unsure. Maya picked up the interphone and called the cockpit. "Hey, it's Maya in the cabin. I need to confirm something. Can you check the load sheet for seat 18A? First Officer Ryan answered. Papers rustled on his end. One moment, there was a short pause. Then he came back. "Manifest shows 18A unoccupied. No special notes. Our total passenger count matches what the gate gave us. Why do you see someone there?" Maya hesitated. Saying it out loud made it sound more ridiculous. "Yeah," she replied quietly. "There's a man sitting there. I talked to him." There was another pause. This time, Captain Harris chimed in. "Is he causing any trouble? Acting strange?" Maya shook her head even though they could not see her. "No, he's just there. Yet he shouldn't be." Captain Harris stayed calm. Years of experience taught him that strange things sometimes happened, especially on long days and night flights. "Okay, Maya," he said. "For now, treat him like any other passenger. Make sure he's buckled for landing. We'll double-check everything on the ground. Let us know immediately if his behavior changes or if you feel unsafe at any point." When Maya walked the aisle again, she studied him more closely. He sat in the exact same position as before. No phone in his hand, no headphones, just quietly watching the darkness outside. As she passed, he blinked and turned toward her. "Are we still on time?" he asked softly. "Someone's waiting for me there." There was something raw in his voice that caught her off guard. "Yes," Maya said gently. "We're right on schedule. Not long now." He nodded, a faint, almost sad smile tugging at his mouth. "Good, I can't be late again." The word again echoed in her head as she moved on. She did not know why that single word bothered her. The feeling that she had seen his face before refused to leave her alone. In a brief lull, while Liam monitored the cabin, Maya pulled out her phone in the galley and opened a browser. A thought nagged at her. A memory of a news article from the previous year about a regional jet accident. A lone passenger who never made it to his destination. She searched the airline name and the word memorial, then scrolled slowly until a familiar face stared back at her. The man in the photo looked younger, but the eyes were the same. Kind, tired, carrying something heavy. The caption mentioned his name and said he had been on his way to reconcile with his estranged daughter after years apart. The article had moved Maya when she read it months ago. Now staring at that face, she felt the air leave her lungs. It looked so much like the man in 18A. She closed the screen quickly, heart racing. This was crazy. People could look alike. It did not mean anything. Images and memories blurred when you were exhausted at 35,000 feet. Still, her hands trembled slightly as she poured water into a cup. Liam glanced over. "You okay?" She forced a breath and a shaky smile. "Yeah, just..." Long night, the seatbelt sign chimed on with a soft ding, and the captain announced their initial descent. The cabin lights brightened slightly, and passengers stirred awake, adjusting seats and stretching. Maya began her final walkthrough, checking for loose bags and upright seat backs. When she reached row 18, she felt a strange nervousness, as if she were about to face something she could not explain. She looked to the window seat. The cushion was empty. The belt lay flat across the seat, unused. The small duffel that had been under the seat was gone. Maya froze. She checked the aisle behind her. No one was standing, no one squeezing into the lavatories. There had been no call, no sign of movement. Yet the man she had been watching all flight had simply vanished. Her mouth went dry. She checked the lavatory doors. All showed vacant. She scanned nearby rows. Every seat was occupied or clearly empty. No passenger seemed out of place. No extra person. No missing person. Just the exact number she had started the flight with. Liam approached, reading her expression. "He's gone, isn't he?" he whispered. She could only nod. After landing, gate agents performed a manual head count as passengers deplaned. Every number matched. Security cameras from boardings showed only the listed passengers entering the aircraft. No unknown man in a dark jacket. No one moving to 18A after pushback. On paper, in video, in the system, there had never been anyone in that seat. Yet Maya could still hear his voice asking her if they were on time. Later, in the quiet of the crew lounge, Maya reopened that memorial article and stared at the face on the screen. The story said he never made it to his daughter, that his flight ended in a field miles short of the runway. She thought about the man in 180A and the way he said someone was waiting. She would never be able to prove what she saw. But every time she walked past row 18 on future flights, she found herself looking twice, wondering if sometimes unfinished goodbyes found their way back into the sky for one more chance.